thank God for the Academy having, panels like this, because had there been a panel like this for me to attend coming into the music industry, I might own the building that we're in.
Right.
Today.
Absolutely.
It may be Bunavision,
Tell you what, as a writer and a producer and a songwriter, it's not easy to have to deal with all of this administration work. It's accounting, it's constant, registration of songs. It's chasing people down for money, basically. That's really what it is. And depending on your, if you have records like S1 on major label releases, it's a little bit easier to collect from like a Universal or a Sony. But when you're dealing with an independent label out in Houston or in New York or whatever, try collecting royalties. It's not always an easy thing. You have to do this for you. You can't rely on everybody, else. Because when I have a client that is not out there networking, not coming to events like this, not really trying to get out there in the studio and meet with the artists and stuff, it doesn't really give me any reason that I'd want to have a long-term working relationship with the person. I want to work with somebody who is obviously very serious about it and pursuing it as much as I'm doing it.
When we did Big Pimpin', when Jay-Z came to us, he wanted to keep the publishing. So he made 3 different offers because we were like, no, we understood our rights as an artist.
Right.
But the third offer was so crazy for what we had ever been offered for a performance, like a verse ever. And we weren't the richest dudes in the world at the time. And we don't know how big this record's going to be potentially, So we were like, you know what, man, let's just take that money, So it became a work for hire. It ended up becoming the biggest record for him, one of the biggest records in our career. But Timberland didn't clear the sample like we talked about earlier. So the person who performed the original sample, was an Indian artist. He died, and a company bought out his whole catalog specifically to turn around and sue Jay-Z, Timberland. I don't know if you remember, Jay-Z and Linkin Park did a mashup album together. Yes. They sued Linkin Park too. So they sued everyone involved with the song, and when it came to us, we're not liable in the suit because we were work for hire.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that worked out.
Yes, if you copyright it, you've got that litigation right. And that's one of the things we talk about when you deal with the intellectual property, making sure things are copywritten, making sure they're trademarked. Because the one thing about the federal jurisdiction is that if you don't have those things protected, and that poor man's copyright that you talk about often in mailing to yourself, don't rely on that. Register with the U.S. Library of Congress. Make sure you register with the USPTO, which is the United States Patent and Trademark Office. But that is correct. From a litigation perspective, you've got that right.
Most of the people that I've been able to work with, or I've been able to build a really good relationship with them. And I think that's the difference, being able to connect with somebody, not just working with another producer just because, or, I've been able to really be able to build a relationship with these individuals. And that in turn resulted into, just being fair, everybody being fair when it comes to the songwriting splits.
Because you talk about really doing good business and being transparent. And those are 2 keys to success. If you're looking at the music business, and definitely, stepping outside of just publishing any admin and owning those master rights, but if you're conducting business in the music business, the cleaner the better. And like you said, the less complicated is better, the less complicated the better, and really less is more. Just quite frankly, when you start looking at how the revenue splits are there.
You don't want to be in business with a record company. You want to eventually be a record company. When I say that, it means that you want to be in full control of everything that has to do with your music.
Say you have the business side of things, and then you have the creative music side. Like, if you can't focus on delivering the creative side and maximizing that and making that to what it can be, then there will be no business side. So we have to be allowed to focus on just that, to make the music quality. And then once it's quality and it's a demand for it, then the business comes. So you have to be able to separate the two so it don't interfere with each other.